guys there. Deep Crates coming at you for the Crate Show. This week, we're winding down the alphabet finally. After 26 plus odd weeks from A to Z. We're gonna cheat the last 3 letters and do X, Y, and Z. Anyways, we're gonna do X, Y, and Z all together. First, you're listening to the funky sounds of Young Holt Unlimited. Who's Young Holt Unlimited? Well, 2 of the guys were in the Ramsey Lewis trio. So it's basically the Ramsey Lewis trio minus Ramsey Lewis. The drummer is Isaac Red Holt and the bassist is LD Young. They got some soulful stuff, as you can see by the name of this one, Soulful Strut. Some great drum breaks, some good stuff there. They had some different pianists over the years, but the core members were Red Holt and LD Young. So we're starting off the X's, listening to a little Young Holt Unlimited. Our first X is Xerox. Now I'm not sure, from what I can tell, they're all Colombian songs. I tried to Google-late it, but all I get is the Xerox fucking company. This is a great cover one. It's actually still sealed. Xerox. One of the reasons that we've been going through these crates is because I get too filled up in here. So I like to start at the beginning, go through all the crates. This is the funk, soul, jazz, and hip-hop room. And sometimes there's stuff in here that isn't necessarily funk, soul, or jazz, or hip-hop, but because I sampled it, I filed it away in here. You know what I'm saying? So we go through the crates, like we saw the Joe Walsh last week. I pulled that out. That's now in the rock room. Xerox, I gotta be honest, I listened to 2 open ones, and I don't really care for it. I probably bought it because I thought the name was crazy or something. So these are coming out of the crates and they're gonna go into the dollar bin, and at some next digger event we'll be selling these. So didn't really care for Xerox. I guess if you like Colombian music, maybe pick them up if you see them, but I didn't find anything too sample worthy on them. Right now you're listening to the Yellow Jackets, another Y group. Cool cover there, the Samurai Samba, 4 Corners, and Mirage a Trois. Not Menage a Trois, Mirage a Trois. That's actually what we're listening to right now, the Yellow Jackets. Yeah, Xerox was the only thing I had in X out here. Yes, was mixed in here, yes, of course. But I have more yes out in the rock room. Another great Y, Mr. Lester Young. Lester Young. Not so easy to find some of his stuff. It's a little bit older, but definitely worth picking up. If you see any Lester Young, I definitely recommend some Lester Young. We got the Youngbloods. Shout out to Youngblood, the hockey movie with Rob Lowe. That was one of my favorites back in the day. Yeah. And then, we got some, Michael Zager. Michael Zager. Now, Michael Zager used to be in another group you might know, 10 Wheel Drive. 10 Wheel Drive. Shout out to the great Polish singer, Genya Ravan, Genya Raven. She was known by Goldie. She's being Goldie in the Gingerbreads. Some good stuff there. But anyway, after 10 Wheel Drive, Michael Zager pretty much went out on his own, did his own stuff. Fast back to the week, Michael Zager, the first time Whitney Houston was on wax, Michael Zager put her on wax. Michael Zager took Sissy Houston, Whitney's mom, and Whitney, and had them do some vocals for him. So, fast back to the week, Michael Zager put Whitney Houston on. Continuing with the Z's, we got the all-new Zap for you. Literally, Zap. Some more Zap. Some more Zap. Some more Zap. And then we get into my man Frank Zappa. I got a ton of Zappa. Won't show it all here, but shout outs to Frank Zappa, musical evil genius, I guess. Frank Zappa was manipulating tapes and sampling back in the 60s. And as a big sample-based artist and loop artist and just crazy sample artist, I have to definitely say I was greatly influenced by Chic Your Booty. See what he does there? Chic Your Booty. Very clever, very clever. Mr. Frank Zappa. Also screwed over by the government. If you guys know, he was doing all types of audio recordings and stuff in the 60s. And they set him up on the pretense that they wanted an audio recording of a sexual encounter. So all he did was sit there. I'm not sure who the lady was, but he put a bunch of moans and groans and some sex stuff on a tape. He gave it to the guy. The guy happened to be an undercover agent. The agent gave him $100, and as soon as he accepted the money, they arrested him on pornography charges. I believe he did 6 months in jail. But even worse than that, they raided his studio, took all his shit, and out of like 90 reels, I think he only got back like 30. So, you know what I mean? Thus led to his anti-authoritative stance, which I definitely have to agree with. But Mr. Frank Zappa, definitely worth checking out. A lot of his older stuff is crazy, with the Mothers of Invention. Always got dope covers. Usually always has all the crazy lyrics and pictures and stuff. If you don't know Frank Zappa, which I would assume you do, definitely check him out. Who else? We got Zulema. This is Z-licious. Zulema. And I know a lot of you motherfuckers out there like to lift weights and, you know, get bigger. But how many of you niggas are swole? I mean swole. Yeah. Swole. This guy's name is Walter Zwolinski. Some French-Canadian guy. He used to be in a group called Brutus. And then he went out on his own under the moniker of Zwole. So for all you Zwole niggas out there, what up? What up? I got a couple things in the MPC this week. We're talking about Michael Zager. He's real kind of disco-y. So we got like some Zager samples. You could kind of flip it, slow it maybe. We got some Zager samples. What else we got on here? That's the Yellow Jackets. What I feel. I hope you're feeling it too. The Crate Show, ending the alphabet finally, a week before Halloween with X, Y, and Z. Can't forget about my man Killer Tapes. So for my man Killer Tapes, we're gonna hit you with some singles this week. Yeah. What you younger heads know about singles, man? Singles were singles on cassette. They usually came in these cardboard cases, you know what I'm saying? And they were just cassette singles, referred to as singles. Here's an X-Clan, Exodus. What else we got? Another X-Clan. And then straight, I remember I bought this at the Wiz. Nobody knew what the hell it was. I was with my buddy and he was like, what the hell are you buying? The Wu-Tang Clan Protect Your Neck single. It's got the bloody version, the Shaolin version, the smoked out version, and the homegrown version of Protect Your Neck and Method Man on the B-side. I definitely rocked the hell out of this single. And I can honestly say this is before the shit was big on the radio even. I picked up this single at the Wiz, and then I flew into New Brunswick, and it was either Planet X or Sounds Express or Beat Street, I forget, and then I, got the vinyl. But my first hearing of Wu-Tang was just randomly buying this cassette. I read the Shaolin part, I think is what caught my attention, and I had heard that they were from Staten Island, so always representing the Northeast there. But those are our singles of the week from my man Killer Tapes. What else we got? Out of the regular tapes, I pulled out my Yo-Yo. I definitely have to admit I had a little crush on Yo-Yo when she first came out. I like the BBWs. But Yo-Yo, Don't Play With My Yo-Yo. This is definitely a good tape. And then because it's Halloween, I got a bunch of Halloween cassettes. Haunted Hits on Rhino Records. Haunted Hits. The Sounds of Horror. The House That Died. Horror movie music. This is a great one here. Again, I bought this from the Wiz. I specifically remember the Wiz. Horror movie music. And shout outs to Mr. John Carpenter. Halloween is next week, and if you don't know, John Carpenter pretty much wrote, directed, produced, and even scored Halloween the movie. John Carpenter, one of the greatest cinematographers, cinema guys of all time. He used to do a lot of his own scores in the movie. A lot of times he wasn't on a big budget, so he would score it himself. And Halloween, fucking classic. The Fog, classic. The Thing, They Live, Big Trouble in Little China, and one of my all-time favorites, Escape from New York. All those are John Carpenter joints. So if you don't know about John Carpenter, you probably have seen his movies and probably like his movies and need to check into him a little more. John Carpenter, just a movie genius. He did Starman too, which coincidentally, as another fast fact of the week, Starman was pitched to Columbia Pictures, and so was E.T. by Spielberg. And John Carpenter and Spielberg actually went to USC together with a couple other great filmmakers, but that's a whole nother episode. Anyway, Columbia Pictures turned down E.T. and picked up John Carpenter's Starman instead. Fast fact, yeah. So then Spielberg took it, I believe, over to Universal, who eventually put it out. But yeah, they liked Carpenter's Starman over E.T. But Halloween, next week, we're going to have a big Halloween episode.